I found myself thanking my diabetes the other day, not just in a passing thought. I took my journal and I sat down and I listed all the ways that I am thankful for 28 years of type 1 diabetes. I listed so many things that the scared and confused, newly diagnosed 9-year-old me would be angry at. Welcome to A Sweet Surrender, a place of validation, authenticity, and encouragement for those living with chronic illness. So where did this come about? My husband and I were at a concert the other day, and we were sitting in the lawn section. This seemingly healthy 30-ish-year-old woman came down in a medical scooter, and she parked her scooter right there. She got up and immediately started dancing to the music playing. I mean, she was dancing. And as you can imagine, my husband and I look at each other with this, what is going on? Or kind of like a scam. Like, what is happening? How is she getting up and dancing and also in an actual medical scooter? About a minute and a half later, she sits down and she reaches down and she takes an oxygen mask and she puts it over her. She rests for a few minutes and then another song, gets up and dances for another minute. And my husband and I looked at each other with this understanding of, a joint realization that we were judging a book by its cover, which is so easy to do, right? The thing that I loved about watching her was she had zero thought about the judgments of others, and she owned her story. Not only that, there was such a bright light to this girl dancing. The people around her that knew her were so encouraging, hugging her. They had the time of their lives, and you really couldn't ignore the light that was coming from them. My paradigm went from judgment to empathy, and we made this eye contact that, although she didn't know my story, I could relate to living with an illness that nobody can see. I could relate to the type 1 diabetes, of the comments and the judgments of, you don't look like you have diabetes, or, you name it, I've heard it all. I heard Brene Brown talk about there are stories that you will hear from people that are sad and will make you tear up. And there are many stories out there that are so sad that they will bring you to your knees. I'm getting at the lesson that I have learned is those people whose stories have brought them to their knees, in my experience, are the least judgmental, the ones who don't gossip as much, the ones who have the benefit of the doubt in others. And from my experience, it is very difficult for me to not pause and go beyond my first judgment based on 28 years of hearing so many things and feeling so judged in numerous times. I'll give you a quick story. When I was about 14, I was in competitive tennis, and I was playing against this girl who I had to go on the sidelines because I was low. And I brought out my insulin pump and I had to start eating. And I heard her go up to the ump. This girl is cheating, and also she is trying to feel sorry for herself, and basically that she's making the whole story up. This was an aha moment and a first shift really that I can remember in my diabetes, where it took everything in me to not say, I am diabetic and I have had to take 10,000 shots from the age of 9 to 14. And this is my story, and I am not joking. I have low blood sugar, and this is really hard. The pause was, I could waste my time explaining it to people, or I can give grace, and I can own my story like this girl dancing owned her story. And I can say, there are different levels of understanding, and thank you, Lord, for giving me the empathy and the reason to pause and look back and say, do I walk in their shoes? No. In ending this, I just want to say also thank you to my grandma Lois. She is 96 and one of my heroes. Her story could bring you to your knees with what she went through in the Great Depression. She has told me numerous stories that is something I definitely cannot relate to, with losing her house growing up and the lack of resources. It was pretty amazing to hear that. And she is somebody who it could have led her to bitterness. It could have led her to judgments, anger. And she really has been a living example to me of looking at the benefit of the doubt. And we don't know people's stories. We have no idea. And so thank you, Grandma Lois, for just your positivity and just shining your light. It has meant the world to me. And you are the type of person that I look to in my tribe now as well. So ultimately, the lesson learned is thank you, Lord, and thank you, diabetes, because while I was taught many, many, many things, I was taught the pause, and I'm a better person for it, absolutely. I am so looking forward to hearing other people's stories that I'm going to be interviewing, and I'm going to be asking them what is the biggest lesson they have learned in their chronic illness journey. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for the support of others who have shared the first episode or texted me, with encouragement, or, I sent it to my cousin with diabetes, that's what it's about for me. And so thank you so much for that. I just started a new Instagram page, and I will put that below in the YouTube comments for you to, if you resonate with this or you just want to join me on this journey, I would love for you to click follow. Thank you so much, and see you next time.